In 2017, one of the most vicious and dominant carnivores to ever roam Prehistoric Valley was slain. This individual, a deformed yet highly dangerous Acrocanthosaurus, was called Monochrome. Even stranger than his appearance was his behaviour. He was far more aggressive than any carnivore the film crew had ever encountered, never shying away from confrontations with predators of his own size. He also seemed to have an almost human level of greed when it came to territory, taking far more than he theoretically needed to survive. These actions continue to puzzle our researchers to this day, and although we still cannot enter an animal's mind, recently discovered footage from the Prehistoric Valley security archives has given us a hint at the origins of this fascinating individual. Monochrome's exact place of hatching is unclear, but the first footage of him was captured by a remote camera placed in the desert. He is still little more than a hatchling at this point, and his bones have not yet fully developed. His mother, an individual we've called Ochre, watches over him. They have been going without food or water for 3 days now. A few more could claim both of their lives. Exactly why these two are alone is a mystery. While Acrocanthosaurus mothers usually raise their chicks alone, they usually have clutches bigger than this one. It is possible that Monochrome's siblings may have fallen victim to a nest raider. A dried up lake could present just the opportunity they need. As his mother starts digging, Monochrome begins to explore. What he finds, however, isn't friendly. A Gastonia. Although Gastonia do not have clubs, their tails can still do serious damage. Monochrome sustained a vicious blow to his head. His skull bones may never fully heal now, or develop. Ochre has failed to locate anything in the dried up lake bed, but they are not out of options. Lake Labyrinthodont is only a few days' trek away, and with the annual sauropod migration in full swing, going there could provide both water and food. Ochre and Monochrome have arrived at the shores of Lake Labyrinthodont, and are immediately greeted by the smell of fresh meat. Atlas, an old male Mapusaurus, has already claimed it, however. Although there is no proper structure to this pack of assorted carnivores, one individual does command a certain amount of respect. With Gigabyte currently feeding, the others will have to wait their turn. The reason for Atlas's desperation to secure this carcass has nothing to do with himself. His current mate has been growing sick for the past couple of weeks, barely able to walk, let alone hunt. As such, Atlas has been bringing her food regularly, but this time, he is empty-handed. The Acrocanthosaurus duo aren't doing much better. Having failed to secure a meal from the sauropod carcass, they head down to the lake for a drink, but they must be careful while doing so. We all know who lives in the water. Although the sauropods and other carnivores are only in the desert for a few weeks, Monochrome would go on to live here for the next decade, learning to hunt small game, scavenging where possible while avoiding larger predators, like Kai and Atlas. The old Mapusaurus continued to remain in the desert, unwilling to leave his lifelong partner behind. Monochrome has sensed her weakness, but with Atlas standing guard, there is nothing to be done. Atlas leaves, but even sick and very weak, his mate is still dangerous. Monochrome is cunning enough to realise that if she were to only disappear, Atlas would leave and the desert would be his to call home. To attack a creature many times your own size is very dangerous, but with her asleep, this could be Monochrome's chance. his opponent's throat cut in her sleep, Monochrome now has the chance to gorge himself. Monochrome has narrowly escaped death by Atlas's jaws, but he now has to wait for Atlas to stop mourning before he can eat. Things have just gone from bad to worse. The first members of this year's carnivore pack are arriving. Tango and Terabyte begin to devour the dead Mapusaurus's corpse. It is unlikely that there will be anything left by the time Monochrome gets his turn. Monochrome now has a choice. He can wait for a sauropod to be killed and scavenge some of the remains, or leave the desert and carve out his own territory.